Hi kids, how are you? That's great! Welcome to our first lesson in English 3. Today, you are going to learn about Lesson 1, describing one's drawing about the stories or poem listened to using simple and compound sentence. Are you ready? Let's pull up the next slide. But before that, let's have a short review of what you have learned when you were in grade 2. Let's talk about phrase. When we say phrase, it does not express a complete thought. Next, it does not begin with a capital letter and does not end with punctuation marks such as period, question mark, and exclamation point. Now let's have the examples. Number 1 is resourceful. Number 2, the picture. And number 3, in the desert. Now notice, kids, that these groups of words do not begin with capital letters and they do not have punctuation marks. Now let's have sentence. When we say sentence, it expresses a complete thought. Unlike phrase, it does not express a complete thought. Next, it begins with a capital letter and ends with punctuation marks such as period, question mark, and exclamation point. Now let's have the examples. Number 1, the crow is resourceful. Number 2, the picture is narrow. And number 3, the crow is in the desert. Now notice that the first letters of these sentences begin with capital letter, such as T for the crow is resourceful, T for the picture is narrow, and T for the crow is in the desert. Now notice also that these sentences end with a period. Alright? Well done, kids! Are you ready for some activities? Let's do this! Let's pull up the next slide. For this activity, you are going to read each group of words and tell if it is a sentence or a phrase. You just have to write your answers on the blanks provided. Okay? For number 1, Lorna wants a new bicycle. What is this? A sentence or a phrase? Well done! This is an example of a sentence. Number 2, flowers in the garden. The answer is very good, phrase. For number 3, the cat jumped on the board. And this is an example of very good, a sentence. Number 4, ran down the streets. This is an example of a phrase. Well done, kids. And for number 5, James ate all the apples on the table. The correct answer is sentence. Well done, kids. Now let's move on to our main lesson and let's analyze the following. Are you ready? Let's pull up the next slide. Now, when we say simple sentence, this is composed of one independent clause. Again, when we say simple sentence, this is composed of one independent clause. And that independent clause consists of a subject and a predicate. Alright? Now, to broaden more our discussion about simple sentence, let's have the meaning of it. When we say simple sentence, this is composed of a single or one independent clause. And that independent clause can stand by itself. It contains a subject and a predicate. Let's have the example. The crow was thirsty. This is an example of independent clause. Or we could also say I see for independent clause. You have the subject which is the crow, and was thirsty is going to be the predicate. So this is an example of a simple sentence. Alright kids? Well done. Remember kids, simple sentence is composed of a single independent clause. It contains a subject and a predicate. Examples. Number 1. Lorna wants a new bicycle. The subject is Lorna and the predicate is wants a new bicycle. Number 2. The cat jumped on the bed. The subject is the cat and the predicate is jumped on the bed. And number 3. James ate all the apples on the table. The subject is James and the predicate is ate all the apples on the table. Okay? Let's have compound sentence. Again, compound sentence. When we say compound sentence, this is composed of two independent clauses. For a simple sentence, there's only one independent clause. But in compound sentence, we have two independent clauses and they're joined by a connector. Again, compound sentence is composed of two independent clauses and they are joined by a connector. Now, to broaden more our discussion about compound sentence, I have here the meaning. Compound sentence is composed of two independent clauses. They are joined by a connector or coordinating conjunction. Again, they are joined by a connector or coordinating conjunction such as and, but, yet, or, nor, and so. Alright, now let's have the example. Number 1. The crow is thirsty, so he looked for water to drink. Now the first independent clause is the crow is thirsty. And the second independent clause is he looked for water to drink. And the connector or the coordinating conjunction used is so. Okay? Now let's have more examples. Now let's have the second example. Mother washes the vegetables and she cuts them into pieces. Now let's try to look the two independent clauses and the coordinating conjunction. Now the first independent clause is Mother washes the vegetables. And the second independent clause is she cuts them into little pieces. So you have the first independent clause and the second independent clause. Now, where is the coordinating conjunction or the connector? Well done, kids. The connector is and. Okay? Now, let's have the third activity. I like the color purple, but my favorite color is blue. Now let's try to find out the two independent clauses and the coordinating conjunction or the connector. The first independent clause is I like the color purple. And the second independent clause is my favorite color is blue. So you have the first independent clause and the second independent clause. And the coordinating conjunction or the connector being used is but. Okay, do you understand now? Well done, kids. Let's pull up the next slide. Now, let's have some activities. Directions. Write SS for simple sentence and CS if compound sentence. Number 1. Ashley wakes up early. Is this simple sentence or SS or compound sentence or CS? The correct answer is simple sentence or SS. Number 2. Kelly likes to drink juice but she doesn't like milk. The correct answer is CS or compound sentence. Number 3. I think I left my pencil inside my bag. The correct answer is well done. SS or simple sentence. Number 4. We ate pasta for dinner. The correct answer is very good. SS. And lastly, today is my birthday, so mother bought cake for me. The correct answer is CS or compound sentence. Well done, kids. Now let's pull up the next slide. Remember, kids, simple sentence is composed of a single independent clause. It contains a subject and a predicate. Compound sentence is composed of two independent clauses. They are joined by a connector or coordinating conjunction, such as and, but, yet, or, and, so. Now for your assignment, on your notebooks, write 5 simple sentences and 5 compound sentences from the story, the crow, and the picture. You take picture of your answer and send it in our English classroom. Alright? Now thank you for listening. I hope you learned a lot from our lesson today. Have a good day ahead. Goodbye.